نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respect viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we shall try to read and understand few more verses from second chapter, starting from verse number 191 of chapter 2 Al-Baqarah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Waqtuluhum, O believers, you kill them. Hatta sakiftumuhum, wherever you find them or where you confront them. Waqrijuhum, and you expel them. Min haythu akhrajuhum, where from they have thrown you out. Well, fitnatu ashaddu min al-qatl, because oppression and persecution is worse than killing. Wala tuqatiluhum indal masjidil haram, but still, you should not fight against them near the sacred masjid at Makkah. Hatta yuqatilukum fit, until they fight against you there. فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ, if they continue fighting against you, even there, فَقْتُلْ, then kill them. كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ, such is the recompense of these rejectors of faith. فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا, but if they cease, or if they stop fighting, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, then remember Allah is all forgiving, the most merciful. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ, you kill them or fight against them until persecution is done or finished. وَيَكُونَ الدِّينَ لِلَّهِ, and religion is only for Allah. فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا, but if they cease, فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ, then let there be no aggression except against the oppressors. الشهر الحرام بالشهر الحرام, sacred month is for sacred month. وَالْحُرُمَاتُ قِصَاص, and violation during these months has its own legal retribution. For that there is legal retribution for the violation. فَمَنْ يُعْتَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ, and whoso assaults you or commits excesses against you, فَاعْتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ, you can also assault them, بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ, up to the extent that you are assaulted or you were subjected to atrocities. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and fear Allah. وَعْلَمُوا, and know, أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, Allah is with those who are God conscious or who are fearing God only. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Verse number 191, it starts, وَقْتُلُهُمْ, you kill them. That means, O believers, you kill the enemies of faith, the disbelievers, the opponent fighters, you kill them. حَيْثُ ثَقَفْتُمْ, wherever you find them, وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ, and expel them, مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ, where from they have expelled you. Interestingly, I tell you, during one of my visits to America, it was incidentally around 9/11. Just few days before that, and then sometime after that. And I was there on the very fateful day. Very sad and fateful day for all the world, especially Americans. I was that day. Imagine. And during that time, I got a chance through some of my friends to talk to the Americans, Muslims as well as non-Muslims. And during that time, through the courtesy of one of my friends, I got a chance to talk to Sunday worshippers in a church. It was exactly, if I remember the name, in New York, it was St. Lutheran Church, New York, Buffalo, New York. While talking to those priests and Sunday worshippers and nuns and priests, there were some beautiful talks in a cordial atmosphere. That's fantastic, very good, in a cordial way. At the end of the day, there was some questions. I told them, if there's any question about, we can talk about. One of the priests he said, yes, I have a question. I said, what? He says, isn't it in your Bible, that's Quran, that means, isn't it in your Quran that you kill disbelievers wherever you find them and throw them out of their house and huts, crush them to the pulp? He explained it. Then it was my turn. I stood, I said, yes, my dear friend, you are absolutely right. It is in Quran. But my dear friend doesn't have reference. I provide him reference. Let him remember and note it. It is verse number 191 of chapter 2 of Quran. And it reads like this. This was the verse. I said this is verse number 191. وَقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثَ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ. You kill them wherever you confront them. وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ. Throw them out. Expel them where from they have expelled you. Told them, my friend, we have learned from you. You are the most learned people on earth. That whenever you talk, it should be with reference to the context. Unfortunately, my brother who has put that question has lost or missed that context. The discussion or discourse starts from verse number 190 and it is continued in 191. So it is out of context question. 190, the verse which we studied yesterday. When Muslims are asked, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. You fight against those people. الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, who have imposed fighting against you, that you have to defend. You have right to defend yourself, right? وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, but don't settle in such revengeful atmosphere. Don't cross limits. Don't transgress. Because Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin, Allah doesn't love transgressors or those who cross limits, even during war. That limits I explained, which I explained to you yesterday. I told my friend, this next verse is in continuation, that if they still continue fighting against you, then kill them wherever, confront them. So doesn't a Muslim or a believer have right to save himself, right to defend himself, and kill his opponents when they continue to fight? I explained this verse as this verse, and as it doesn't. Second part of the verse says, you kill them wherever you find them, no doubt. You expel them where from they have expelled you. That means you haven't expelled. You are not initiating the process of expulsion. It is they that Quran says, yes, now you too have right. You have thrown out of Makkah, which belongs to you, and they have occupied your territories, your houses and properties and wealth and everything. Don't you have any right to snatch whatever has been snatched from you? Then at the end of the day, he said, sorry, man, I have not read your Quran. I found this reference somewhere in some book. I'm sorry. Now I understood that's fact. It's according to reason, norms of reason and justice. Today we are studying verse, you have to see in the context of the verse we studied yesterday. Then if they still continue fighting, then kill them. Where you will confront them? Yes, it is they who have initiated war against you. So don't you have right to defend yourself? If the sword in his hand, should you wait? Should you wait till he beheads you? And what can you do later? It's when a person comes with a gun or a sword towards you, with an intent of killing you, you have every right to kill him before he kills yourself. This is everywhere. This is not terror. This is not violation of international norms. This is according to all the set standards of any civilized society. From America to Europe, they call themselves civilized. Only the whole world knows how civilized they are, how peaceful they have been in history for centuries, what atrocities they have committed world over, whether in Africa, Middle East, North Africa, or Latin America, in Vietnam, Far East, everywhere, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, everywhere. Now the facts are coming out, so we need not go into detail. That's the political side of it. We are not bothered about that. But since they are blaming us, at that time, as for the sake of argument, we have every right to defend ourselves. Not necessarily with sword or pistol, but our words, the words which are based on facts, which have become a part of history. Now those people have started repenting, who killed thousands, millions of innocent people. Now they confess, yes, it was wrong estimation. It was wrong on their part. They did it. Okay, but on the other hand, Quran set norms. Don't, for the sake of a single terrorist, you cannot kill hundreds and thousands of innocent people. as has been as we have been watching for the last 20, 30 years. In such trying circumstances, Quran lays a law, wala ta'tadu, don't cross limits. If they have killed your civilians, don't use your force against the civilians. Not kill a woman, no children, no elderly women, no sick and ill. No hospitals and orphanages to be destroyed just for the sake of killing a few persons. You are destroying basic economic infrastructure of a country. Killing and bombing in even hospitals and orphanages. This Islam cannot allow. No way. Then Quran says, وَقْتُلُهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ. You kill them wherever you confront them. وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ. And you expel them where from they have expelled you. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. Because persecution and oppression is worse than killing. They are the oppressors, they are the persecutors. So they deserve this punishment for their atrocities they have been committing since long. And still they have taken swords and all the armaments against you. So do they deserve any mercy? Still do they deserve any mercy? But still there are no. وَلَا تُقَاتِلُهُمْ عِنْدَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Don't kill them or don't fight against them near sacred masjid. Because you have to at least maintain sanctity of this place, central place of Islam, the nucleus of Islam, that is sacred masjid, that's Kaaba and around that. Don't fight against them, even near that. Hatta yuqatilukum fi, until they continue fighting there. That means if they still force and fight against you there, then you have a right to defend yourselves. In that defense, you may have to kill them too. فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ. So if they kill you, you have to kill them too. But harm is there. Is there anything against any basic standards of humanity or basic standards of war and civility? Anywhere in these verses speak. This verse talk about war. Where is brutality? Where is terrorism? Where is blind retaliation? But calculated, specific, crushing of the oppressors and persecutors. If they kill you, you also kill them. Such is the recompense of these such disbelievers, these enemies of faith, who want to finish you all once for all. But if they cease, that means if they desist, if they cease from fighting, remember, find Allah Ghafur Rahim, then Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. Then when Allah forgives, you too forgive. You also stop war if they stop. If they cease, you also cease. Because think that time, when don't exceed limits in that revenge for the sufferings they have inflicted upon you for the last 13, 15 years. You don't turn blind oblivious due to that revengeful attitude. Don't. If they desist, if they cease, find Allah. Remember that Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. You have to be forgivers. You have to be merciful to others. وَقَاتِلُهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةً. Fight against them, continue fight against them till oppression or their persecution is done, finished. Yes, oppressors, enemies of humanity who want to disturb and destroy the basic fabric of peace in the world, like pharaohs and Nimrods. They have to be cut to the size. Otherwise, if you allow them, they will create havoc. They'll destroy whole humanity and whole human values will be nowhere. So you kill them or fight against them till oppression, suppression and persecution is finished. And religion is for Allah only. That means the laws of Allah, they are based on peace and mutual interdependence and cordial atmosphere. Cordiality, mutual affection, that religion prevails, religion of peace. But again repeat the same statement, if they desist, if they cease to fight, فَلَا عُدْوَانَ. There should be no aggression then if they cease. Illa ala zalimin, except against the oppressors. There should be no. So imagine, this is Islamic war, which now is interpreted the way we are seeing it world over. Though we are also at fault. We can't blame our opponents only. Wherever, because we have committed, not mistakes, we have committed blunders in the name of religion. We are defaming by our word and by our deeds and by our actions. We are defaming Quran. How can I expect them to follow these principles when we have not followed them? In war and in situations where we were in a position to take revenge, we sometimes cross limits, indulge in atrocities which is unbecoming of a true believer. That gives them an opportunity to defame our religion, but basically sometimes we defame by our actions, our own faith and our own book and even our beloved prophet. Then next was Ashharul Haram Bisharul Haram, sacred month for the sacred month. What does it mean? For that we have to learn a small background. As you know it, Arabian society was divided into tribes and they were fighting tribal wars all the way. Year-long wars, every month, every time there were wars, indulgent wars, this way or that way. Perhaps from the time of Abraham, that some norms were set that, okay, at least we should have some peace in between. So 4 months were declared as sacred months, in which war was prohibited, fighting and aggression was prohibited. Those were 4 months of that lunar calendar. It is before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his arrival on the world scene. Before that, 4 months were declared sacred. No war, no aggression during those months. That is first month, Muharram. Number 2, Rajab, 8th month of Muslim calendar. Then Zikad, 11th month of Muslim countries, in fact, Hajj time, and Zikad, the 12th month, 11th and 12th. First, 8th, 11th and 12th months of Muslim calendar, that's Muharram, Rajab, which was especially they reserved that Rajab period for Umrah. Normally they used to do it during that month. Then Zikad and Zilhaj, they were the months of Hajj. These 4 months were declared or considered sacred, no war. No aggression against each other. It's regarding that. But what one incident happened. When Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, after migrating from Mecca, reached Medina, he was there together with the companions. And after around 6 years, Prophet, peace be upon him, had a dream. There's a great event in an epoch-making event in Islamic history. Since Prophet's dream is not just a dream like yours and mine, prophetic dream is part of divine revelation. And in that dream, Prophet was shown or directed to go to Makkah, from Medina, go to Makkah and perform Umrah. That was circumambulation around Kaaba and to and fro walking between Safa and Marwa. That's Umrah. So Prophet, but Makkah was occupied by opponents. How could they allow? It was a test for believers. They were in a way going themselves, presenting themselves before enemies. Because for Hajj or Umrah, you cannot take arms along. You have to be armless, wearing ihram, the 2 pieces of unseen clothes. But around 1,400 believers from Makkah, Mu'minin, they volunteered themselves, "Oh, Prophet, peace be upon him, will accompany you." It was in the Zikad month. That's also sacred month. When the long story, we'll talk about that once we reach that level, Surah Al-Fatah, where it is dealt in detail. But Makkah didn't allow Muslims, in short, didn't allow them to enter Makkah. Muslims had to come back without performing Umrah that year. And a pact was signed, which is called Pact of Hudaybiyah, the Great Pact. Even that during that time when Muslims had reached almost near a place Hudaybiyah, which is just few miles, few kilometers, and maybe 30, I'm not sure about exactly, around 20, 30 kilometers from Makkah. It was just near in the vicinity of suburbs of Makkah. But they were not allowed to proceed to perform Umrah. And during that time, being this sacred month, Zikr, the Makkans, they sent armed people, armed groups, who tried to incite Muslims so that they could get an excuse to use force and start war against Muslims. It was against the norms of sacred months. That's what Quran said, what is it? We're not forcing you to accept our faith. But these are norms common between you and us. Sacred months are sacred months. No war. How come you are using them as for your own convenience? You are violating the norms. You are instigating. You are violating norms, and then making excuses because they used to throw stones, and sometimes they use even arrows. Just to violate. This violation was not acceptable. And during sacred months. And even Arab custom, sometimes if they would see that this is the best time to attack our enemy, and it was the sacred month, any of the 4 months, Muharram, Rajab, Zikr, Zilhaj, they would feel this is the best time to attack because our enemy is weak and we have every opportunity to crush them. But thinking that this is a sacred month, what should you do? They would sometimes change it. Okay, if it is Rajab, a sacred month, we shall fight, we shall invade our enemies and opponents. Doesn't matter. We'll make another month as sacred so that number becomes clear. It is explained in Quran in chapter At-Tawbah, chapter Tawbah. That it makes clear. Just I'll give you a hint here. It was that they were not themselves following the norms set by themselves, but they had made those norms and standards subservient to them according to their own convenience. They would sometimes exchange the months. Then they felt that there's an opportunity to fight against them, crush them or defeat them. So Quran says, no, this sacred month is for sacred month. But if somebody violates, Muslims, if they violate the norms and fight against you, then you have every right to defend. You have to fight. Why should you just with a smiling face face their swords and arms and arrows and everything? No. Asharul haram bishar haram. Sacred month is for sacred month. Wal hurumatu qisas. And the violation in these months has its own legal retribution. Then you have every right to defend and retaliate for those violations. But we have to remember one thing. As in the previous verses, when Muslims were allowed to war in verse number 190, you fight against them, but even during war, don't cross limits. Similarly, it is if they are forcing fighting against you, even during sacred months, or they have assaulted you, they have committed all the atrocities against you. You have every right to defend yourselves. You have every right to take revenge from them, but that revenge should be within the limits, within the norms. You don't exceed that. Quran says, فَمَنْ يَعْتَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ. If one who assaults you, O believers, or commits atrocities against you, فَاتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ. You have every right to retaliate, but بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ. Up to the extent you were assaulted. Don't go beyond. As it used to happen in Makkah, in the Arab. If one person of a tribe was killed by others, they would come and kill 10. If 10 were killed, they would burn their opponents, they would roast them alive. It is still happening. We see news in our news channels sometimes in Indian far-off places. It's happening still. Out of ignorance and arrogance, these things do happen. So, but Islam and Quran set norms for that too. فَمَنْ يَعْتَدَ عَلَيْكُمْ. One who assaults you, commits excesses and atrocities against you, فَاتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ. You can also take revenge. You are also assault, but to the extent you were subjected to, not beyond that. Because wattaqullah, even such trying circumstances, you have to fear Allah. You have to say Allah is watching. He will not forgive me if I cross limits. Wattaqullah. So fear Allah in such situations too. Wa'lamu, and know it. Anna Allah ma'al muttaqin. Allah is with God-fearing, and Allah is those who follow the norms set by God. Here it says Allah is with those muttaqin, God-fearing and pious, who don't cross limits. Just in the last verse we read, Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. Allah doesn't love or like transgress who cross limits. So this makes a perfect picture. How Islam believes in peace and only peace. Even during war, that's why we say war is ever in Islam. I give just an example. In Arabic, name word for war is harb. Harb. Okay. You know, Prophet, peace be upon him, said some baby was born and if a baby was to be named, Prophet will suggest, he said in one of his hadiths, the best names are Abdullah and Abdul Rahman. The servant of Allah or servant of the most merciful God. But the name most disliked, because Arabs used to name their children some Harb. There are many people in Islamic, in history, in the period of ignorance, before Prophet's time, peace be upon him, that people were named Harb. Prophet, she said, the most disliked name by Prophet was Harb. He even disliked the name Harb. Forget about the war. He would not allow Muslim kids to be named Harb. He said, this not up to my liking. And similarly, just as a point to know ourselves, now it is word jihad is sometimes used, jihad, to mean war. You know, jihad never means war. In Arab in Quran we see, in Arab literature, Arab dictionary, there are many words used for war. Like harb means war. And is marika, that means a battle. Other words, qital, this also means fighting and war. But jihad doesn't mean as it's interpreted now. Jihad means holy war. It's no way. No, jihad means struggle and strive for to attain a high level of decency, to fight for a cause. That's jihad, not war. It's just by the way. Okay, we complete our today's lesson. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Sadaqallahul Azim. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.